one big jaw dropper from the greats, right? Like the Mobiuses and the Richard Corbins and all those. And so it became a staple of the magazine that cover art was something that, eventually became very highly collectible art.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know there's those names I just mentioned and the Hildebrands, and that collection influenced all the big artists of today. It was only 2 years ago that Beeple reached out and did a cover for heavy metal. Like, because of the fact that it's again, like it's a bucket list. It's also a place where artists can be free. There's no censorship. I have watched the process of stuff getting approved here. And it's like, bring the stuff that everybody else said no to. That's the stuff that heavy metal wants. Or, hey, like, we want you because we know what you're capable of. You draw whatever the hell you want, and we're going to put the logo on it, no notes. I've only been here for a couple of years, but I know just from talking with previous administrations and people that used to run it and other people that collaborated with it, that has always been the DNA of this brand. And it allows for art like people have never seen before because there's no rules put on it. And I think that's just in general, I think that's the best way to get the most out of your artists is to allow them to be free.
Yeah.
And that is I think the cornerstone of this brand.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can enjoy art a lot more when I'm stoned.
Hell yeah.
It allows me to just sort of get lost in the pictures, I guess. And when you're talking about fantasy, it's perfect for that. But I recently went to an art exhibition and I had smoked right before I went in there, and I could stare at something for a good 10 minutes. And I'm sure there were millions of people walking around me, but the way that you take art in when you're stoned, it feels different. It feels more like
absolutely
awe-inspiring, I guess.
And I find it interesting, getting back to what you said before about strains too, is that I think I have a different experience with different strains. Like I know if I'm going to be going, for example, like to look at art, it's a totally different experience than if I'm going to go to a concert and listen to music, right? And so I think that's a really important part of trying to figure out where to continue to drive our product line, because you want to go and you want to lose yourself in a piece of art for 15, 20 minutes. Like that's the point of it being there. And so you want to be able to tailor your experience to that and being able to have something that is made with that in mind. And that also we communicate that the right way so that people know, oh, this is the shit I'd be going for this. That I feel like is for folks like ourselves who that's how we want to experience it. It's like cheating almost. It makes me excited.
The other crossover, I think, between cannabis and heavy metal when it comes to the music is that both have been shown to be stress relievers.
Yeah.
So like rock music is supposed to lower your anxiety, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and it helps you process emotions. And I was like, that's exactly what cannabis is doing. So using them together at the same time and going to those concerts and using the sorts of sativas that make you really energetic and really physically feel the music, that could be really good for your mental health. And then equally finding something that's a more relaxing sedative strain and sitting down and looking through comic books and really enjoying that sort of art. Like there's so many ways that cannabis and heavy metal together can be really good for you, essentially.
I agree. And I think even just in regular daily life, when I go, I've got a really cool walking path near my house. And when I go take a long walk, I have a mix on my phone that just says, it's just called Walk Rock.
Yeah.
And I have a very specific one of our sativas that I use. And I feel like it changes my whole day.
Yeah.
That hour and a half with that music and that specific high, being able to process, work through thoughts, keep my energy level high, snap out of a bad mood. It's something that's become almost religious for me, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds therapeutic.
It is.
So let's talk about the strains that you guys are pairing with heavy metal. You're working with this Massachusetts company that I love, Berkshire Roots. Why did you choose Berkshire Roots and what are you guys offering?
Great question. So Berkshire Roots, they approached us first. I was probably a month or two into really contemplating getting into the cannabis business. I had met with somebody who I was picking their brain about it, and they went to Berkshire Roots and told the CEO, like, hey, I've got the right brand for you. The CEO at the time, a man named James Winokur, pitched the idea, and it started from a place of he was a fan. He knew the brand. He knew why our customers, theirs and ours, where the crossover was. And he had a vision that felt like the DNA of heavy metal, which was we want to create a product line, a full suite of products that allows for full kind of range of experiences. And then we want to interact with our fans and we want to learn from it. And we want to continue to build and tweak the line as we go, right? Mm-hmm. So I then started doing my research on Berkshire Roots and just on the Massachusetts cannabis industry in and of itself. And to be honest, what I came back with was there were probably 2 or 3 maybe that I would put on the same level in Massachusetts with Berkshire Roots as far as being like the top of the top. But I was overly impressed with them as a company, the level of quality and testing that they do, and then the products themselves. Obviously, I tried all the products under the sun. And then I got a chance to go visit the facilities and see where they grow. And that probably put me over the top. I was really blown away by the team of cultivators that they have there, how strict they are in that grow house. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
They run a tight ship.
They run a very tight ship. And then, the yield, the product that comes from it was just some of the best quality I've had for sure in Massachusetts by far. And then I met the rest of the staff. That is really where I felt, I was like, oh, my people are here, right?
Yeah.
There was a number of staff throughout both manufacturing, cultivation, wholesaling, retail that all spoke the same language. They all got what our brand was, and they all kind of saw the same vision that James and I saw of heavy metal being a good complement to the Berkshire Roots brand, which is a very, Berkshire Roots is a very like wholesome, like they're like the REI of cannabis, and they've earned it. And I think what we are is more the, kind of that mind-bending sci-fi fantasy, looking for potency and experience, right? So when you get to couple that with a brand that puts out the quality of product that they put out, it was like, how could we lose?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we started off developing product line, and then we moved into developing packaging. So product line, there's a sativa, an indica, and a hybrid. Or our sativa, the platinum garlic, is probably one of my favorite strains I've ever smoked in my life.
That sounds good. Platinum garlic, yeah.
And it's got a flavor profile that is unique, and then just the experience. So I'm one of those people where I feel like I can have one of 2 ways with a sativa. I either have this high energy, really happy, my brain is clicking mode, or some sativa strains can actually make me really aggravated and aggro.
Yeah.
And that's like my first test. And when I first had the platinum garlic, I had just a fantastic day. And I felt like everything was clicking. And that was that was from the flower. And then we eventually got into the vapes, and the platinum garlic vape that is in our product line is hands down like my favorite vape I've ever had.
Nice.
And then they're also great manufacturers. I think that's, to the point I was making about the vapes. I enjoyed their vapes before I even got into ours. I am a little bit biased, but I do genuinely believe ours are just a smidge above. And then Berkshire Roots is chocolate. So they make really great chews. They're award-winning chews. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Edibles are kind of definitely a tough market. There's a lot of different options there. I enjoy ours. Our flavor profile is really awesome. Our blue raspberry are delicious. But Berkshire Roots makes some of the best chocolate I've ever had.
Yeah.
And what we thought about with the chocolate line is like, all right, how do we have a chocolate that feels like it's on brand for heavy metal? We know it's going to be quality and it's going to taste good and you're going to have the right experience. What makes it heavy metal? Oh, here's an idea. Habanero raspberry. Let's challenge people's palates also.
Yo.
So we developed what I think is a delicious kind of sweet and a little spicy filling that goes inside their dark chocolate that, again, like to me, it rivals some of the best chocolates out there on the market. And I will plug a Berkshire Roots specific product. Their milk chocolate peanut butter bar is awesome.
You're making me hungry. Oh my God.
If I could recommend a chocolate bar, honestly, try ours. Try the heavy metal one first, and then try their peanut butter chocolate.
Okay.
It's just really, really good.
All right.
But so that's our sweetener products. Like I said, we have an indica, a sativa, and a hybrid. And then from those, we do pre-rolled joints. We do pre-rolled blunts and infused blunts. The infused blunts are also really, really fantastic. They're super, super smooth. And obviously is kind of an elevated experience because they're infused. So it gives you that little extra punch, a little extra heavy metal, if you will, behind it. And I was in one of the stores in Massachusetts a couple weeks ago just doing visits. And there was a group in there who were also doing dispensary tours. They were from another state and they were kind of doing market research. And they had notes saying that they had been to multiple stores and that the heavy metal concentrate had gotten the highest marks of all the stores that they had been in so far.
Oh, nice.
So if you are a concentrate fan and you're in Massachusetts, I highly recommend that. We want to be able to do is we want to repeat this state by state. We want to make sure that if you are somebody who lives in Boston and you travel to Denver for work, that you're going to have the same experience with a heavy metal product there.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the one thing that I thought was the coolest when I saw you guys. I think it was at NECAN. It was a NECAN event a couple of months ago in Boston. Is involved in the packaging. Not only is the packaging super cool and it's got this beautiful artwork on it, there was also this QR code that allowed me to pair this cannabis with some special art that I could access. And there were card collections going on, which is so on brand for the adult graphic novel collector. Can you tell me about how these were created?
Yeah. So we want the brand to be a 360 experience. It's not just about heavy metal comics. It's not just about experience cannabis. How you pair those things together and how you continue to expand beyond it. So the QR codes, what you saw are all actually like the first kind of like V1 beta, if you will, of it. What's going to happen over time is that as the brand grows, the QR code will start taking you to content that we're specifically designing for cannabis community and for cannabis users. That content is going to be print and also AR and VR. Ooh. So down the road, eventually the studio will also be producing content exclusively just for the cannabis user. So you'll scan the QR code and there might be, some augmented reality characters that'll be in your room, or it'll take you directly to a comic that only, our customers for heavy metal cannabis can access. And it'll be stories and storylines that we think will be interesting to our fans. It also will bring you to exclusive merch and discount codes and things like that over time. That'll be part of the kind of national rollout where we get into kind of the larger things. But we're really, really excited about that. It's going to be a huge cornerstone of the brand. I think what'll differentiate us from, kind of anyone else. Because you see, even in the packaging, right? Like, we've integrated art from various stories into the packaging itself.
Yeah.
And that is something we want to continue to do. But what we want to be able to do is not just use the art that you can find in the magazine, right? We want to be able to source from the community and then also create stuff that's just exclusive, like I said, for our customers.
Oh my gosh, trippy. That would be so cool to be high and have augmented reality and virtual reality. I think that intersection is really, really an interesting place. I feel like it's kind of dangerous. I've been high before and I've gotten my VR goggles on and I'm like, this is nuts. I don't know where I am. But, an interesting experience nonetheless.
Yeah. Again, like I said, this is stuff that's going to be that we're kind of building towards and it'll be part of the longer term rollout. Mm-hmm. But we do want people to know now that the more you become part of the heavy metal community, the more you'll kind of be rewarded for it, I guess, if you will.
It sounds like it's going to be a really fun getting high experience to take part with some heavy metal cannabis.
I think people realize that this is an underserved part of the market in the space right now, is the kind of heavy metal fan. And all of these larger stores that don't need to carry our product because they have enough of their own still felt like they wanted to because they saw, oh, this is something I can offer our customers that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely something I've not seen before. I'm excited to try it and sit down with some sort of horror movie or something and, really get the shit scared out of me. I'm excited about it.
There you go. You should watch the original heavy metal movie, the 81 animated film.
I will.
It's worth it.
That's what I'm doing this weekend. That's on my to-do list.
Enjoy it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tommy. It's been really good to talk to you.
Thank you.
A big thanks to our guest today, Tommy Coriale from Heavy Metal. Next week, we'll be sharing some really moving stories about the potential of cannabis to help combat veterans with Philip Lafontaine from Six Bricks Dispensary.
I was self-medicating from both angles to suppress a lot of it, to be honest with you, right? And it took a lot for me to go get help. And it came to the point where I was having 6 or 7 panic attacks a day, full-out tremors, passing out, the whole nine. And I had just had enough. Nothing was working for me. I felt like my whole life was upside down. I could be in a firefight and be calm, cool, collective. Now that I'm here, I can't go to the store without having a breakdown. I was prescribed things such as Zoloft and Trazodone to help with anxiety, depression, and sleep.
And that's what the VA does, isn't it?
Yeah. I told them, I said, hey, I use marijuana products, and if you go look at my medical records right now, it says cannabis use disorder.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode, and be a darling and leave us a review wherever you're listening to us right now. Follow us on social media at Different Leaf, and I'm on social media at Brit the British. Make sure you've got your summer copy of Different Leaf magazine. Head to differentleaf.com and order yourself a copy, or find your local in-person retailer under the Subscribe and Shop tab. That's differentleaf.com.